This is Dr. King with the Department of Educational Foundations, and I'm going to talk with you about your very first day of observation and participation, give you some tips and suggestions for preparing and having a really successful first day. So, first of all, you're going over there on that very first day, just researching and trying to figure out what's going to be available to you on subsequent visits. So until you know what kinds of accommodations they're going to have for you, one, limit the items that you bring. Yes, a backpack, a briefcase, a purse, all of those sorts of things are fine. Just make sure that you limit and you're not bringing all of the above. Try to have them contained in like one backpack or so on. So you're not sure, so you can't be sure how much space you're going to have to put those things away. No cell phones, and I think this is really important for you to hear and listen to. So no cell phones. I always say this, especially for the first day, until you know the policy of teachers using their cell phones and things like that. No cell phones. But I do need to caution you that the times when I've received the lowest evaluations back from cooperating teachers on my students, the point that they make is that students are using their cell phones while they're supposed to be engaged in O&P. So really, don't have that cell phone out unless it's something that's going on in the class or you're on a break. Which brings me to lunch hour. Lunch hour is often the hardest hour of the day to plan for and be prepared, but I'm going to go over this in the next slide. Just bring your own lunch that very first day. Bring a water bottle that's refillable, and like I said, notebook, backpack, those sorts of things. But don't bring anything that you're going to have to worry about. Your lunch, again, like I said, in terms of preparing, lunch may be a little bit more complicated than other things. I know some of you are expecting that you're going to be able to be using your meal points and that for getting hot lunch, and that's all great. But on the very first day, I doubt that you're going to know how that all works and what the process for buying hot lunches and all of that. So go over that very first day with a packed and disposable lunch. Your cooperating teacher will help you know when your lunch period is going to be, and they'll probably tell you where you're going to be eating as well. You may eat in the teacher's lounge, you may eat in the teacher's room, you may grab a couple of other students from UW-Whitewater and eat together in the lunchroom, who knows. But make sure that you've got your lunch. It's easily portable and easy to eat quickly and quietly. I know some of you are probably going to be thinking about maybe using a microwave. Yeah, please don't. Microwave, teachers have a short lunch hour, and oftentimes the microwave, there's one for all of the teachers who are having lunch at that time, and the microwave is really busy. The last thing in the world you want is to be that person who gets in the teacher's lounge, hogs the microwave, and is, I don't know, microwaving tuna fish casserole so the whole room smells. Yeah, don't. Very first day, pack a disposable lunch, no microwave needed. Also, who knows if you're going to have a refrigerator? You might, but you might not. Plan for not, and be happy if you do. As I alluded to previously, don't bring anything that smells. Hard-boiled eggs? Don't. Nothing that's messy. Do bring your lunch and snacks, and make sure that you're eating throughout the day. Probably going to be amazed at how fast-paced things are. Please make sure that you are taking the time to eat and drink as you need. It's going to help you keep your energy up. So, to repeat, day one, you're going to investigate what's available so you're prepared for subsequent visits. So, what are you going to wear? This one, I usually get into a lot of conversations with my students over. General rule, your attire should be professional and comfortable. You want to make sure that you're dressing, putting forward that professional image. Now, if you're at all confused about what teachers might wear, Google it. If you want even more information, go to Pinterest. Take a look at teacher attire, teacher clothes, cute teacher clothes, all of that. You're going to find a treasure trove of all kinds of ideas. Some things that are important to remember. Whatever you wear, yes, you want to put forward a good first impression, and you also want to be comfortable. You need something that you can bend and reach and sit on the floor and squat down next to a student without all of this, without revealing anything that's too personal. So you want to make sure that whatever you're wearing, you do a good look in the mirror to make sure that you're all pulled together and that if you move around, nothing is going to be exposed. And that brings me to, teachers are not sexy. Teachers typically dress kind of conservatively, but teachers should not, if you look in the mirror and you think, wow, I'm hot. Nope, that's wrong. That's wrong. So teachers are not sexy. Teachers are covered up, especially in the K-12 setting. Now, I'm going to say these things for Beloit. This may be true of Milwaukee, but this is definitely true for Beloit. Flip-flops are not allowed. They have this regulation in their official dress code that says you can't wear any shoes that have a specific spot for an individual toe. They're very specific about that. So yeah, no flip-flops. Besides, those are not really all that comfortable, and your feet are going to hate you at the end of the day. Then your jeans, yes, you can wear jeans, not blue. Other colors are okay, not blue. I'm surprised I have to say this, but yoga pants are not pants. You can't wear yoga pants to your field placement. Even if you're going to be placed in a PE setting, you want to make sure that if you're wearing yoga pants, they're at least modestly covered up. And also, leggings are not pants. When I say this, some of my students get confused and think that I'm saying you can't wear leggings. That's not the case. I mean, you can't wear leggings as pants. You can wear leggings under your skirts. You can wear leggings with a tunic, that sort of a thing. But also, I do want to mention that for Beloit, at least, men are allowed to wear shorts. Women are allowed to wear shorts as well. So that's usually fine. Just make sure that they're of a long length, not the short little shorts, but make sure that they're a long length. And also, as far as shoes are concerned, yes, no matter which, if you're in the regular classroom or in a PE setting, you are allowed to wear tennis shoes, gym shoes, that sort of a thing. Just make sure that they're in really good repair. Yeah, so that's totally fine. Some of my students have asked me about piercings and about ink. I have had students who have gone to both Milwaukee and Beloit with visible tattoos, and there's been no problem. If it's something that would be a violation of the student's code of conduct, meaning if any of your tattoos have inappropriate language or images that would tend to get a K-12 student into trouble, please make sure that they're covered. Carpooling and arrival. So carpooling, as you know, you're responsible for your own transportation, and you are also responsible for arranging your own carpooling. Your faculty are not allowed to assist you in setting up your carpooling. It's a liability issue. We're not even allowed to be in the room while you're doing it. So I'm going to suggest these things. I'm not in the room, so I'm going to suggest this framework anyways. So I really recommend that you create a phone listing That's, it collects everyone's cell phone. A convenient way to do that is in Google Docs and then share it with everybody so you all have it when you're on the road and you're in your placement setting. As you set up your carpooling, it's great that you've got someone that you can carpool with, but if that person is sick or something happens, you need to have a plan B and a plan C. So make sure that you have all the plans set up and in place. Now, before your first day, you want to make sure that you're going to map your route and your parking. So time it with Google Maps. Take a look in Google Maps Satellite, what the school actually looks like. See if you can see where there are parking lots or where there may be parking alongside of the street. But at any rate, you're probably not going to know where you're going to park on that first day. So go a little bit early. Make sure that you're planning for a lot of traffic because you're going to be going at prime commuting time. So plan for additional traffic and plan for not knowing where you're going and for trying to figure out parking. Once you get there, your OMP placement sheet will tell you what your cooperating teacher's name is. Know that when you get there. Cooperating teacher's room, know that when you get there. And at the bottom of that sheet, it's going to tell you what you should do when you check in at the office. So some of you are going to check in and talk to the principal. Some of you are going to check in and go directly to your cooperating teacher's room. Make sure that you've got that sheet with you. If you have any concerns that you may forget that, take a picture of it, have it in your phone so you can refer back to it once you get there. You're going to be nervous, so make sure that you're preparing these things in advance and not trying to throw it all together the night before. And suggestions, sleep. It's really important, and the longer that you participate in OMP, the more weeks that you go through, you're going to find you are more and more exhausted. So get in the habit of trying to go to sleep. I mean, really do it. Stay hydrated throughout the day and make sure that you're feeding yourself. Bring hand sanitizer. Hand sanitizer definitely is your friend when you are in a school. You're going to find that for the first 3 or so years in this field, you're going to be building up your immune system. So you're going to be pretty susceptible to the things that are flying around the schools, and students get sick a lot. So just make sure that you are really protecting yourself and you are fighting off germs as much as you can. Dress comfortably. And I'm going to say a little bit about shoes here too. Make sure that your shoes are comfortable. Your shoes should not be cute. Your shoes should be comfortable and something that you can literally stand in from 8 o'clock until 3 o'clock. Because, did you know? Teachers oftentimes do that. Plan to be tired on Tuesday night and even Wednesday. This, for most of my students, they find that this is physically and emotionally exhausting. So adjust your homework schedule ahead of time. And while we're at it, you should probably adjust your homework schedule for the rest of the semester to account for you kind of being out of action on that Tuesday. Make sure that you've got your cooperating teacher's email just in case. Now, how can you find that? Some schools, you can go to the school district website and go to the staff link and then find that in the directory. If the school that you're going to doesn't allow you to do that, well, that's something that you want to make sure that you get on that very first day. Get your cooperating teacher's email address. I'm going to remind you again, withhold judgment. You are not there to judge. You are there to observe. You are there to try and unpack what's going on, why is this happening, how are students learning. Your role is to learn what it's like to be a professional educator and test the waters. So there's more information to come. I'm sure you probably still have questions, but typically when we hand out our placements, we meaning faculty, when we hand out your placements, We reserve time for you to ask questions. This was just intended to be a general overview to kind of calm your concerns about what is going to be expected, how this is all going to work, and all of that. So if you have any specific questions, like what do I wear, please contact your instructor. And if you're at all concerned about not being able to have access to professional attire, your instructor will be able to help you find free resources for professional attire in this community. So there are places that you can go to get free clothes, which is absolutely awesome. So good luck to you. This is going to be a great experience. I wish you the best.